Hello, everyone. So my name's Conor. I work at Square Crypto. So for people that don't know, Square Crypto's an initiative or a unique initiative that was started about 2 years ago. And we support the open source Bitcoin community by funding a number of different developers and designers and some PMs. So we're currently supporting around 30 different developers, designers across 17, 18 different countries, from the US to India to Australia. And that's something we're really proud of. We are seeing a trend of a number of different initiatives that are funding open source Bitcoin projects. So special mention to companies like OKCoin and Brink and BitMEX, and it's a Kraken Human Rights Foundation as well. And it's a trend that we want to see continued as well. But today I'm going to talk about something that doesn't get a lot of attention, and that's the developer user experience in Bitcoin. So we're going to talk a little bit today about what Square and Square Crypto are doing to try and improve the developer experience within Bitcoin. So we spoke to a lot of wallet developers to try and figure out what is the best way we can try and contribute to the Bitcoin open source ecosystem. And we found that what the feedback from wallet developers was that it's quite time consuming to build Bitcoin wallets and Bitcoin applications. And it can also be very restrictive, especially if you're trying to just implement basic Bitcoin functionality and enable Lightning features on mobile, for example. So we saw this as an opportunity to really zone in and think about what can we do to improve the developer experience within Bitcoin and for developers. And what we're doing at Square Crypto is essentially building the tools, the frameworks, the libraries that make it a lot easier for developers to build Bitcoin wallets and Bitcoin applications. We ultimately want to see the unleashing of the creativity of developers in this space, and we want to give them the flexibility and the freedom to experiment. Especially given this technology is so early, we're still very early, especially on the Lightning side. It's very important that we give developers the tools that allow them to experiment and build wallets and products for their specific use case. Okay, cool. So we're going to talk about some libraries and some tools and some SDKs that we hope to help us achieve that. So who would be interested in this? So we're talking about people who are interested in building in wallets, non-custodial Bitcoin wallets and with Lightning integrations. We're talking about perhaps exchanges that want to do specific Lightning and Bitcoin integrations. Or you might be a large institution who has a number of different systems and you want the flexibility to integrate Bitcoin alongside those systems. So the story kind of starts like this. Building Bitcoin wallets is tough. Like I mentioned earlier, we spoke to a lot of wallet developers and it was quite clear early on that it can take a small number of developers, almost a year or up to a year, to build a Bitcoin wallet with basic functionality and basic features. So it's difficult to get right early on. Developers are often required to operate at the protocol level, where there's a lot of privacy and security considerations that need to take place. And there is also a lack of good development tools out there. There isn't really any shared libraries that are used amongst a whole set of different applications. And this ultimately leads to us not being able to focus on the user experience. So it ultimately results in poor user experience for everyone ultimately. So the BDK. So the BDK stands for the Bitcoin Development Kit, or the Bitcoin Dev Kit. And it's essentially it's a generic library and a set of tools that handles all of the kind of low-level Bitcoin logic when integrating into a Bitcoin wallet or any type of Bitcoin application. And it's essentially a new way to compose a cross-platform Bitcoin wallet. So one of the pillars or the principles that is underpinning the BDK is a focus on customizability. So the BDK is driven by the Rust Bitcoin implementation. And one of the ways that we hope to allow developers to use this library is exposing a set of APIs that make it easy for developers to choose ways in which they integrate different Bitcoin features. So for example, one of those things is the ability to customize blockchain data sources. So when we're trying to get information from the blockchain, we can do this in a number of ways. We support just a straight up Bitcoin full node via passing in full blocks or block headers, for example. We also support the ability to have your own Electrum or Explorer server. And we also support more maybe privacy preserving features such as bit 157, 158 or Neutrino. And all of this is just exposed as an API, so you as a developer decide how you want to integrate it. Another pillar that we focus on is a focus on user experience. So all of the, like I mentioned earlier, all of the low-level Bitcoin logic is handled for you. So how you construct transactions, how you create them, sign them, and ultimately broadcast them is all handled via an API for you. And another pillar we focus on is high performance and compactness. The BDK is written in Rust, which is a language that is, I guess, gaining a lot of momentum at the moment because of its ability to be a little bit more developer-friendly, but still give you the fine-grained control over memory and performance. So it's designed to run on all sorts of embedded devices, such as mobile phones, point-of-sale systems, and Internet of Things devices as well. So here's like a list of some of the BDK modules. So we support everything from descriptors. So I think we saw an example a bit earlier, but they allow you to construct these very complex spending policies. So the descriptors are enabled by Miniscript, and so developers, instead of having to construct these complex spending policies using script, you can use descriptors, and it's a lot more easier. We also support PSBT for like new sort of multi-signature setups as well. I spoke a little bit about how we can source blockchain data as well. So here are some of like the modules and sub-modules supported in BDK. So you're a wallet developer. You've perhaps either used BDK to create a wallet or some other type of Bitcoin application, and you want to integrate Lightning. So how would you go about adding Lightning features to your wallet? So I think currently, right now, we have some really awesome work being done by a number of different initiatives. You would look at something like LND or C Lightning or Eclair. And these are really good ways to introduce developers into the Lightning ecosystem, but they do come with their challenges. Ultimately, these implementations are designed to be, I guess, routing nodes, and these are programs that you download and you interact with, as opposed to a suite of tools that you can use to integrate into your application itself. And ultimately, like, they are kind of monolithic code bases that don't really allow you to change certain features and implement them in different ways. We have seen this as well in some examples, some concrete examples. So like the team at Async have their own kind of implementation of Lightning written in Kotlin to accommodate for those who want to build mobile wallets on Android. The Electrum team as well also kind of have their own implementation of Lightning that is designed to be integrated with how they do kind of like Bitcoin on-chain features. So what can we do to essentially allow developers to be able to implement Lightning into their applications in a way that's a bit more flexible and with a bit more freedom? So our team is developing something called the LDK. Both these projects, BDK and LDK, are open source projects. So the LDK stands for the Lightning Dev Kit or the Lightning Development Kit. And again, it's very similar to BDK. There is some crossover, and it's a generic library based off the Rust Lightning implementation. And it's designed to be like the simplest way to add Lightning to your Bitcoin wallet. So again, all of the low-level Lightning logic's handled for you, all of the channel state logic, all of the on-chain punishment logic, all of the stuff around connecting to peers and managing channels. That's all done and exposed via APIs, so you decide how you want to integrate it. So in this diagram, I've kind of shown, I guess, a wallet that has BDK integration. But the good thing about LDK is it's designed to also be implemented in existing wallets as well. And it's designed to run essentially at the application layer. And one of the main benefits of using the LDK is that you get one single unified wallet. I guess one of the challenges that developers come across when they're building mobile wallets is the fact that you have to deal with an on-chain balance as well as an off-chain balance within your Lightning channels. So we just expose a wallet API, and it's kind of bring your own wallet. You decide how you want to integrate a wallet using LDK. And similarly, again, it's a focus on customizability. An example from the LDK is the ability to persist channel state or persistent storage. So you can decide to write that channel state to the local file system. You might decide to back that channel state up to a cloud provider, Google Drive, iCloud, encrypted, of course. Or you might choose to back it up to your own dedicated server with certain security policies in place. A focus on user experience again. So like I mentioned, all of the low-level Lightning state machine logic is handled for you, all of the channel management, how you connect to peers, how you open channels, routing, all of these stuff are just exposed via APIs. And again, it's a focus on high performance and compactness. I think the fact that we've written both of these libraries in Rust just gives us that level of flexibility. And one of the things we're interested in as well is this kind of architecture that allows us to run some of the Lightning features in an offline manner. So in this diagram, I'm kind of showing the ability to run some of the Lightning logic, such as like updating or signing transactions and updating channel state, but have it on a hardware security module that has specific spending policies that have to be enabled when signing for transactions. One of the projects we're supporting around this is the Lightning Signer project that we hope will enable us to do this. And then you can have a server which is connected and is online and has its own, TCP IP stack for doing more of the like chain monitoring stuff. And then just have something that connects the two, perhaps like USB or some other communication protocol. So that's definitely a scenario that we're super interested in as well. And here are some of the other LDK modules and sub-modules. So the ability to source blockchain data as you see fit. You can provide your own fee estimation sources as well. These are just exposed via APIs. You can choose a set of different routing algorithms as well. And again, the kind of idea of like bringing your own wallet and defining that yourself. So yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, the BDK and LDK is a suite and a set of tools that ultimately allow developers to build Bitcoin products, wallets faster, in a more flexible way. Ultimately, our team, we see a lot of opportunity in building non-custodial mobile wallets. So that's kind of the area we're very much focused on. And we want to see thousands, tens of thousands developers experimenting over the next 2, 3, 5 years. And we think these are the tools that will enable us to do this. So kind of lastly, one of the things that is super important here, and what both of the SDKs support, is native language bindings. So the languages, the libraries are at their core are written in Rust, but we do support Java and Kotlin for developers who want to build Android and mobile on the Android operating system, and Swift for those who want to build on iOS. And again, that just kind of opens up the platform for developers to be able to build in the languages that they're comfortable with and they see fit. So if you're a developer interested in Rust, interested in contributing to the Bitcoin dev kit, you can head over to bitcoindevkit.org. We have a Discord channel that's quite lively and stuff at the moment. Similarly, if you're interested in integrating Lightning or you want to contribute to these libraries, you can head over to the lightningdevkit.org, and all our documentation and how to integrate the APIs are there. We're currently in the process of trying to improve that as well. So if you're interested in helping out with technical documentation, feel free to come and speak to me and reach out. We're also hiring at Square Crypto for a number of software engineers. So again, if you're interested in working on the Lightning development kit and open source tooling in general, feel free to reach out to me as well. And then lastly, just want to show a little bit our grant program. So like I mentioned earlier, it's something we're really proud of. We're looking to support the ecosystem in a number of different ways. So any open source projects that are supporting privacy, security, scalability, user experience, we want to hear from you. So if you're interested in that and you want to receive some funding for doing that kind of work, you can hit up grants at squarecrypto.org or just find me at the conference and come and speak to me directly. But yeah, that's it from me, and thanks for listening. I'm happy to take some questions now.
Hey, thank you so much for the presentation, man. I really appreciate it. I'm really bullish on LDK and BDK, but I only have one request. One for the language bindings, like for Dart and Flutter. I believe it's the best tool right now to build cross-platform or cross-application, like Android and iOS applications, mobile applications. So I would really beg of you, I'll put it on the Discord. I said when Dart and Flutter. So please make it happen.
Yeah, that's a good point. I actually forgot to mention, we do the Blue Wallet team. That's another great open source wallet we have in the space. Have actually implemented a React Native version of the LDK, which is live and in production. So that kind of bridges the gap a little bit for those who want to build on cross-platform. But certainly, I don't know much about Dart and Flutter myself, but from what I hear and what I understand, it's on a good trajectory to become take a lot of market share for developers who want to build cross-platform. So that's definitely in the works. And for those who want to build web experiences as well, we are speaking to some folks who are looking at doing JavaScript and WASM bindings as well. So that's kind of in the pipeline as well. So, but yeah, it's on. We'll try and put it on the priority list, man. Yeah.
Hi. Regarding the data backups, is it in real time and it's, let's say, reliable? I mean, does it rely on the good faith of your peer, or it's like, let's say, a ride, so it's absolutely sure? Your channel are perfectly assured by the backup, or there's some danger to lose the money in your channel?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. So the data backup mechanism is kind of a separate thing, and we provide an API to for you to decide how you do that. Like I mentioned earlier, encrypted backups or local storage or some other more sophisticated mechanism. The stuff you're talking about the risk of losing funds to your counterparty, is something that there's a project that we're supporting called Watchtowers that essentially will mitigate some of those risks. And so we're hoping to support, well, we are supporting a project called the Eye of Satoshi, which enables you to essentially run a watchtower which will check the balance of the two counterparties and ensure like one doesn't cheat the other in a nutshell. So there's a separate initiative or project around what you described. So I definitely check out the Eye of Satoshi. I think Sergey's here actually, so I think he might have just left the room, but he's around and you should talk to him.
So it's not a real-time backup of every transaction, but it's...
It can be.
It can be.
Yeah, it can be. It's up to the developer to decide, so it can be, yeah. Yeah.
Is remote signing where the keys are on another device or like an HSM, is that something that's currently supported, or is that still kind of in an experimental or early phase?
Yeah, so it is supported. So the project to kind of look out for is the Lightning Signer project by Dev Random and Ken Cedric. And yeah, to answer your question directly, yeah, the idea is that like you have the ability to sign transactions in like an offline piece of hardware that doesn't have like a TCP IP stack, and perhaps you do some of the more like on-chain stuff on like an actual dedicated server. But let's kind of, the details are a little bit above my pay grade, so like check out like the Lightning Signing project, and you'll definitely be able to find out more.
I got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
We had the Taproot activation. So I'm sure that there will be some talk about the Taprootification of Lightning Channel contracts. Are you guys already trying to work on something of that kind, like the rewriting of Lightning contract in a more Taprootish way, or are you waiting for a bolt specification in order to be more standard with the other implementation, or is there any work in progress already?
Yeah, another really good question. To my understanding, there is no active work going into it. It is kind of thing that's going on like on the roadmap. The BDK side of things is a lot more progress with regards to like Taproot and stuff like that. But again, we've focused a lot of the last year on developer experience. So we spent a lot of time on like language bindings and found that there wasn't like a set of open source libraries that enabled us to do that very easily. But yeah, like we want to see like more Taproot stuff as well, just like everyone in here. So it's on the roadmap for the future for sure. Yeah. Oh. No.
Thank you. Great presentation. James
Thank
Harris
you.
from Atlanta.
Nice to
Do you
meet
guys
you.
have sample code, like full functional wallets that already demonstrate all the code base?
Sorry, say that again.
Do you already have fully functional code base sample wallets that people can actually use to demonstrate and show what's possible so that we can make a decision on investment and time to customize?
Oh yeah, we do actually. So we have a sample node. The LDK has a sample node on GitHub. There are a number of like tutorials on the BDK side as well. So yeah, if you head over to bitcoindevkit.org and lightningdevkit.org, there's a lot of documentation there already. Walkthroughs on how to, for example, build a Lightning node in Java or build a Lightning node in Rust, or how to run an LDK Lightning node essentially. So there is a lot of documentation there already, and we're trying to improve it as we go. Just to note as well, there are two really big projects that have implemented and are using LDK, and we hope those will be released by the end of the year. Fingers crossed. And so yeah, over the next couple of months, we hope to onboard a lot more teams and a lot more developers to using it. So yeah, head over to documentation and get started that way.
Hi. I'm kind of new to all of this experience about Bitcoin and everything, so I'm actually I appreciate the fact that I can have this experience of learning, from the people who actually knows. So I'm kind of wondering if all of these dev kits that you're providing for Bitcoin and Lightning can be also applied to another type of cryptos, like I don't know, ETH or other type of cryptos actually.
That's a good question. Interestingly, I feel we're quite behind certain crypto ecosystems with regards to developer experience. I think it's important to note what we're trying to build here is sound money, and like the appreciation that it takes a bit more time and a bit more diligence to work in this space. And up to this point, we perhaps haven't had the tools that let people express and develop with a bit more flexibility. But these tools and my team are focused on Bitcoin only. We don't have any kind of thing on the roadmap anytime soon to focus on Ethereum or any other type of cryptocurrency. Like, there's enough work to be done in this space. So yeah, if you're focused on Bitcoin, like these are the tools to use. So yeah.